Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In this episode, I wanted to discuss verse 20 of Surah Hadid, where Allah says, "I'lamu annama al-hayatu dunya la'ibun wa lahwun wa zinatun wa tafakhurun bainakum wa takathurun fil amwali wal awlad." And the translation of this verse is that Allah is saying, know that the life of this world is but amusement and diversion and adornment and boasting to one another and competition to increase wealth and children. Now, going back to our previous episodes, we have discussed what our purpose is and what kind of life we should be living, right? The fact that we need to build on our iman, we should be doing good deeds, we need to be spreading the truth, the haqq towards other people, we have to continue being grateful to Allah, we have to be patient for all the tests and difficulties that we might face. And spreading the truth in particular is important because we are an ummah, and that is part of our job description. Right? We have to testify on the Day of Judgment. But what is wrong with prioritizing this world? In other words, my question is it just that if we prioritize this world, we will fail on the Day of Judgment and we will face a perpetual life of misery in the Akhirah? Or is there some other consequence that we will face in this life as well? Okay, and this question is important because many people believe that, okay, if I chase this dunya, then I will face a life of misery in the akhirah, but at least I get to be happy in this world. At least I get to really enjoy this life. When you focus more and more on this life, you get involved in this race to acquire more than others. So you start to constantly compete and compare yourself with those around you to the extent that no matter what you have been able to acquire or what you have been able to achieve, it's just never enough. You are happy for a few days and then you start feeling down because now you realize that someone else has more than you. So you start racing again. Now, it could be material goods such as branded clothes, shoes, and bags that you're chasing after. It could be grades, designation, status, power, or rank. You know, the feeling that you finally have attained the designation or the rank that you were working so hard for. But now you're looking at those who are at a higher rank, and suddenly what you have been able to achieve is just not good enough. Right? So you're happy for a couple of days, but now you're looking at the next best thing, and that's what you want. That is why we say the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. No matter what you have, it's just never enough. So interestingly, Allah tells us in this verse that it's part of human nature that we are always getting ourselves into this race, into this competition because we want to be better than others. And we always want to adorn ourselves. So we want the best houses and cars and clothes, shoes, bags, all these material items. And more than that, the verse also tells us that we love to brag. You know, so as teenagers, we are always competing in terms of grades, exams, friends, this desire to be cool. We love to brag about how many followers we have or how many likes we have on our posts. As adults, we are chasing career, money, fame. Again, we love to brag. We love to brag about how much wealth we have. After we get married and we have kids, again, we love to brag about our spouse or how intelligent and how competent our children are. It just keeps going on, and it only ends when we reach the grave. This is what Allah explains in this verse. Life ultimately is about boasting, bragging, showing off the amazing things that we have been able to acquire with this hope that people will look up to us. We all love power. We all love becoming a role model. We all love it when people praise us. And that is why we love to share every moment of success on social media, and we love to hide every moment of failure. We want to tell everyone how much we have been able to achieve, and we don't like to talk about how much we have lost because we want people to look up to us as a success, not as a failure. We love sitting with those who will constantly praise us for our achievements, and we feel uncomfortable sitting with those who remind us about Allah, Islam, and Quran. People who highlight our faults by reminding us that we're chasing the wrong things. Ultimately, we end up getting so exhausted of all this non-stop competition, this never-ending race that just never seems to be enough because it never gives us eternal happiness, that we start to move towards despair. And we start to move towards discontent. So really, the more we acquire in this world, the more we seem to want. And therefore, the greater is the feeling of emptiness in our hearts. So not only do we face a negative consequence in the akhirah because we ended up ignoring Allah in this dunya, but this life will also be filled with discontent and misery. This is a misconception that if I'm chasing this dunya, then yes, I will lose my akhirah, but at least I can really enjoy this life. You won't be able to enjoy this life either. So please do share your comments and let me know what this verse means to you and how have you been able to understand it. Assalamu alaikum.